we want to make sure that the questions are congruent. We do teach you how to do this in our courses. Okay, so I'm going to go quickly here. But if I'm selling Geiger counters, which is our pretend product, and it's radiation, I want to stick with something that's highly relevant and highly congruent and related to the pain that we have. So while what is the weirdest use of radiation that you know might be cool, that might be something we do on a second pass, I'm going to stick right near someone's pain, their fear, the market's buzz, whatever is going viral. Facebook has a lot of misinformation as well as good information. Whenever you have a controversial or scary topic, you're going to have a lot of disinformation and good information where you want to be positioning yourself in the market as a VOR, or voice of reason. Okay, that's why you want to either hire an expert or either get a friend to answer or find expert answers elsewhere and then put them together with this. And that's how you start doubling your traffic or greater. So let's say we're selling Geiger counters. If so, does it make sense to you that we use radiation to cure certain cancers, but we get cancer from radiation? That's a great question. I'm going to leave that as a secondary question. I'm going to go right for the jugular of what's happening right now. Is radiation from the Japan nuclear accident to be a health risk in California? All you have to do, the N means no. The question has not been answered. Nothing's been done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and elevate that status to yellow to two, so that it's to answer. Okay, that's a fantastic thing to do. I'm going to focus right on Fukushima. What is the threat to Hawaii radiation from Fukushima plant? Boom. Okay, that's going to be to answer. What does radiation do to the human body and why? I'm selling Geiger counters, right? It's a fearful topic, and I'm giving them a detection system, right? So yeah, I want to go ahead and write an article about what radiation can potentially do to the human body. Okay, the t-shirt I'm going to leave out. What is the best way to neutralize radiation? There you go. You're speaking right to people's fears. You know that the question behind the question here is probably from the Fukushima radiation fallout. We're just going to go ahead and answer that. I'm going to go ahead and stick with 4 right now. I'm going to go ahead and close this window. This is not the one I want to show you. What is radiation and how does it make one sick? Isn't that great? That would be a great one to answer. Let's go ahead and stick with 5. That's all right. Oh, actually, here's another one. Why can't you can just go all day on this? Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 amazing questions that are now status elevated to update. Now, depending upon what your to answer. Depending upon what your internal protocols are to get questions answered and get content up onto your blog, and we provide people with streamlined methods with a variety of our softwares. Right now we're focused on Painfinder. All you have to do is click export, and you can see that that is being downloaded to my desktop. Now, the point that I'm going to make here is that this new column that wasn't here in previous versions of Painfinder also gets exported in its own column, so the 2 answers will appear. If you need to hand somebody a spreadsheet still, like your writers, that's not a problem. Let's go ahead and open this. What I'm just going to show you here is that the to answer status is exported. In fact, any status, regardless of what it is going to be exported with the regular Painfinder export function. To answer, to answer. The rest of them are still no. Okay? To answer, to answer, to answer. So again, if you're working with spreadsheets, you need to hand those off to your writers. Boom, you can still do it. Isn't that awesome? I love that. I wrote that because I wanted that in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and keep that for a minute. Now let's say that I've sent that spreadsheet off to my friend and scientist and expert Mead, who runs the radiation site, and he's gone ahead and answered, can radiation from a Japan nuclear accident be a health risk to California? He's going to cover a lot of stuff. In fact, he has written some stuff on that, and he's just going to go, boom, answered. Okay, once it's done, it is answered. Of course, I can export all the things that let's say I need to give my CEO or my business partner an update status on what articles have and have not been answered. I can just export it again and send the spreadsheet to them, or I could also give them their own unique login to this area or give them login access, and they can do it themselves and they can manage it themselves. I have found that writers like to have control over the status of these things. They enjoy pressing the buttons and they get more done. Okay, so there's a little gaming environment there. So that's very, very cool, and that's answered. All right, so we've gone from no action to a supervisor can go through and say, hey, writers, I want you to answer this. Like you can send them over to your, what we do here in-house is the marketing department and the neuromarketing department, which is me. I mean, I understand all these things. I helped write these softwares based on my experience in neuromarketing. So I go through and answer what should be answered based on the product that's being sold. Okay, and then the writers can go through and say, hey, answered. Okay, and then the marketing department or the one web ring or the networking, the automation department and our outsource team can go through and say, hey, that's syndicated. So once Mead has given me the article, okay, he's going to say answered. I'm going to go over. Let's go ahead and open it. First thing we do is we follow the 5 iframe punch method, which is available inside the members area. Okay, the 5 iframe punch starts with Quora, and you're going to post his entire article right here. Okay, it's going to be, I don't have an article for that one. Okay, it's going to go right here, and I might do half of the article, and then there's going to be links at the bottom of the Quora thing driving. You want to use the interesting but incomplete method, and the rest of this article is going to go to the page on the blog that completes it. Okay, because I've had an expert write it, so it's going to be a blog post. I almost always put a quarter or a half of the answer or less inside Quora, and that is what we call interesting and incomplete. Okay, interesting but incomplete. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to give you a little secret. It's a little secret link called interestingbutincomplete.com. You can look at our process on how we determine interesting but incomplete. Okay, that's the expert consulting model. That's a little bit of a giveaway, so please do enjoy that. Okay, so that's how we do that, and then we do the 5 iframe punch method, which is also inside your private training area for Painfinder. And once that's done and it's gone through what we call the premium content curation, we call this the one feed to rule them all RSS curation system. It's quite elaborate. Then I can go ahead and mark that as syndicated. It's the same process for everything else. Okay, I've selected to answer. The expert goes and answers it, and then it gets syndicated to the question. Okay, inside Quora. Now your writer can use his own Quora account, or you can have them give them access to yours. Depends on what level of the web ring you're in. Because remember, you need to be aware of where you are at all times. The systems that we teach here at Network Empire are monstrous. They're huge. They're gigantic. They're designed to swallow your market whole. You can find out more about that at swallowyourmarketwhole.com. This is only the beginning steps, but what I love about this system that is even if you don't know all of our gargantuan cybernetic, automation systems, you can still drive traffic using Quora in 5 minutes or less. I made a $500 sale in less than 10 minutes through a well-placed and well-answered question on Quora. Okay, now that's not common, but it happens. And I just want you to be aware of that. So let's say for some reason in-house you wanted the syndicated. Let's say one of these was to answer, one of these was answered. Okay, you can go ahead and export that, and the update will occur on the spreadsheet. Okay, so if I just open that spreadsheet again, you'll see that the statuses have been updated on the new spreadsheet. Okay, it's opening. Click OK. There it is. You can see that, and I find that CEOs or managers really like this. They can tell exactly what's happened. To answer, answered, syndicated. As the marketing department's going to look through, and all they care about is what has been syndicated. Okay, the writers are going to look at to answer. Okay, so this is a very powerful system. Ultimately, this is going to be connecting directly to a plugin. It's going to be a huge part of your personal brand broadcasting system, whether you're the expert or you're hiring experts. And you can automate this entire process from the top down. Your Quora answers can either go on your blog or they can go on your main site. It does depend completely on how you're setting up your empire. And that is the Painfinder traffic. You can purchase this at painfinder.com, painfindertraffic.com. And the advanced version will be releasing shortly. Will be found elsewhere that will allow you to do more than 100 questions. It'll have some more advanced features, and it'll actually allow you to put in multiple keywords soon enough. Okay, and in the later advanced version of the Painfinder traffic software, you're going to be able to go to a plugin, and you'll be able to allow your people inside your organizations to log in as sub-users, so you can manage them, and that status update will become even more valuable because they have their own logins, and that will be a more expensive product, not the $17 a month product. Also be aware that we do have a free version of Painfinder coming out that does not have these advanced features, but it will allow you to try a few Painfinder drills and see how it works. We'll announce that when it's coming out. So in order to purchase this status update feature, please do go to painfindertraffic.com and purchase use the $17 a month buy button, to subscribe. And if you would like to be, if you're interested in more advanced connections and our advanced training systems that cover the more advanced user material, you're going to want to go to networkempire.com. Okay, networkempire.com, the professional package will automatically give you this software, Painfinder traffic software, as well as many other software applications that honestly, we've been working on this stuff for 10 years. We've got thousands of hours in building this stuff. It's literally called the Harvard University of Online Marketing and Neuromarketing by many of our students, some of them who are making 6 figures or more per year just based on the methods that they've learned from us. Our software is Kraken, Theme Zoom, the last keyword tool, and a variety of other packages available for you in the professional version at Network Empire. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.